Hello, Wake Up New Zealand, Karasaki speaking. Well, very interesting. In my research, I found out how RNZ had investigated the central government as to the 2002 Local Government Act. Now, this refers to hundreds of companies, sometimes brand names, that had leached toxins into the drains that had covered the bulbs that actually disinfected the effluent in the ponds, and had also this toxins had leached out into the rivers, the waterways. So councils had tried to uh, prosecute these companies, but there being a loophole in the drafting of the 2002 Local Government Act meant they would have a very costly court procedure, so no one had been prosecuted. So they've been pleading with the government for 2002, that's over 21 years now. So it was revealed that some companies, large companies, had often breached the consents of the Wastewater Act more than multiple times. That this would have been easy to fix through just altering the Act itself, but the government has never done it. They've turned a blind eye to it, deliberately ignored it. So, Greenpeace spokesperson Jessica Desmond said that the large number of big brands are found to have multiple trade waste water breaches. These are companies that claim sustainability breaching. These are the ones that have seriously breached their wastewater trade consents. Whilst other businesses and taxpayers of New Zealand have to pay those extra costs of renewing concrete pipes under the ground because of sulfuric acid burning away those pipes. So what does the government do? Continues to throw the farmer under his own tractor, using the farmer as a whipping boy. And this has continued and continued. So government and private investment in regional water corporations. The drafting error in the Local Government Act meant that regulations allow councils to go through that expensive process of taking these companies to court rather than just being able to prosecute them, and lay heavy fines on them. Now, they could lay fines of up to $200,000, but because of this act, they cannot. So RNZ tried to interview Nania Mahuta at one time, and of course she wasn't available for an interview, but later agreed there is a lack of regulation anyway. She said Tamata Arawai will be looking at this problem. However, it could take several years. That was in 2021. So instead, let's bring in the three waters, shall we? So the 25th of the 1st, RNZ reported the names of the big companies. They were among hundreds of manufacturers, brand names, dumping contaminants down drains, heavy toxic waste contaminants, dangerous. Data was obtained by RNZ from 68 councils. And it was said that 267 companies breached trade wastewater consensus in 1 year, and some multiple times. iStuff New Zealand reported on the 25th of the 1st, 2021. They revealed dumping contaminants down a drain, blood red watery globs of yellow fat, animal fat gushed down Dunedin sewers into Green Island wastewater system and treatment plant. Now, this wasn't from farmers. This was from a large company. So we're talking about greasy liquid blobs that clog the filters and coat the ultraviolet lights used to disinfect the effluent. And this comes from a company that dumped it down the drain. It happens time and time again in New Zealand, and it's been happening for yonks years. Destroying biodiversity, choking rivers, and wreaking havoc with marine life. But this isn't the rural farmers who have fenced most of their properties. No, it's not them. These are large companies that have got away with it time and time again. These are the culprits. But still, the government used the farmers as their whipping boy. The so-called sustainable fishing companies have been revealed as some of the culprits. That's Sanford's and the largest Maori fishing company, Moana, are two of them. Some councils rarely monitor the dumping of trade wastewater, therefore they get away with it. And some councils, like the Auckland City Council, would not answer RNZ questions due to privacy. That was their excuse. So the Auckland City Council, Watercare, that manages the largest wastewater network in the country, refused to answer questions about consent and who are breaching them. So councils can't stomach the cost of taking these companies to court. They've been forced to use what they call a soft education approach, where these large companies still continue to breach wastewater consents. Grease, sulfides, nitrates, you name it, all found in these contaminants, leading to wastewater treatment plants into rivers, and this is extremely toxic and dangerous. So concrete infrastructure eaten away as chemicals are poured down the drain, such as sulfuric acid, that's costing a minimum of $5,000 per metre to the ratepayer of New Zealand. Pipes that have burst, pipes that are so weak that actually people have been walking across the ground and fallen into them. Vehicles have fallen into these. So this is what's been happening, and it's been totally deliberately ignored by the central government, the House of Representatives, under multiple governments since 2002. They knew about it when the bill was passed in Parliament. So contaminated wastewater can kill microorganisms inside wastewater treatment plants and suffocate creatures in waterways, where it's eventually discharged as contaminants that suck up all the oxygen. So Local Government Act 2002, that's never been fixed, and Nānia Mahuta says in 2021, well, Three Waters will be doing this, this and this, but it'll have to wait several years for this one to be fixed. But she doesn't give a time, so she continues to target the farmers. The government continue to target the farmers and throw the farmers under their tractors. And this is what it's about. So now it's about controlling fresh water through iwi elite, controlling land through iwi elite, apartheid in New Zealand, whilst dangers such as toxins, heavy toxins, nitrates, sulfuric acid goes into the drains, leached from these large companies that are called sustainable. What bullshit, just like the ETS scheme. Bullshit, a scam. But this is no conspiracy theory. This is what is happening and has been happening for 21 years, people. And they blame the farmer. The government itself is to blame here. These companies, these brand names, have used what they've been able to get away with because of this government. So whilst they're talking about the floods and the drains and the broken pipes and the old infrastructure, well, ratepayers been paying a lot of money to get that fixed because that's their assets. It belongs to them, not the government. So where's that money going to? And why has this 2002 Local Government Act never, ever been fixed? It would only take a pen written on a piece of paper, pass Royal Assent as an amendment, and that would have been it. 21 fucking years, people. And this is what the government has cost you. Wake up, New Zealand.